Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Bloomsburg University Huskies football. Paul Darragh, the head coach, joining us right now. Well, Paul, the spring game is over and practices are all done. Tell us how you're feeling after the whole spring went at Bloomsburg.
Well, we certainly took a couple steps forward, which is what you want to do, and we, for the most part, had a heck of a spring. I know we came out of it with a couple injuries that made it tough. Lawrence Elliott at the end had an injury in the spring game, and we tried to avoid it, but sometimes those things are unavoidable. But aside from that, it was a very productive spring. I think we had some guys not going through spring due to injury or getting their 10th semester role. We've had that in the past as well. So those guys will be back with us in the fall, which will really solidify our roster. So, but all in all, it was a heck of a spring, and I think we're took the right steps forward to get ready for 2015.
Coach, another great season in 2014. As you go into 2015, what are some areas that you're looking at that you lost some starters from last year?
Well, it is the opposite of what happened the year before. You know, the year before we returned most of our defensive starters and had to replace a lot of guys offensively. This year it's a little bit different. We do return the majority of our starters on the offense side of the ball. So defensively, we lost to some really critical players, and about 3 or 4 players up front on the defensive line, and then obviously losing Justin Shirk and Tomas Cabrera in the back end, as well as a couple other very good players. But so we've had some guys though that played. They weren't necessarily starters, so we feel like we have the experience. They just didn't get the start. But so we have a very good, talented young group of defensive players. So that would be probably the area that we tried to develop in the spring as much as anything is in the defensive line, the linebackers, and the secondary. The whole crew of guys that really are going to have to step up and start and play a lot more now. So, but I think it was a very positive spring in that regard, and we feel confident that we have the right pieces of the puzzle. If we can continue to work hard and stay healthy, I think we have a chance to be another good football team.
Talking with Paul Darragh, Bloomsburg University football coach here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Coach, as you get out there and you got recruiting this year and your coaches did a great job, tell us about some of the recruits you landed and what areas you're able to fill in and get some talent from all over Pennsylvania, I'm sure, and maybe a little beyond that.
Yeah, John. Right now, I think we really were able to identify almost every position and get the amount of guys that we wanted. We kind of target each position and how many we get. And I think we did that through both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Obviously, we got the 3 Crestwood players. We really think Eigeldinger will be a heck of a linebacker. Popson, a quarterback. He's going to get a great shot at that. And Bobick at tight end. So we feel comfortable that we really identified those positions, and really I think we have about 26 coming in, and so we're excited. I know we also signed young Franklin Kouyate's younger brother, and so that's exciting. Try to get another Kouyaté in the backfield, and so all in all, the other thing it was very strong academic class, which for us is important because then we know they're going to be in school. So. So we're confident. I mean, we don't typically rely on freshmen coming in and playing. That could happen. But certainly if they don't play this coming year, they're going to give us the depth and the kind of players we need for the future.
And, Coach, on that topic, how tough is it at this point? What you've done there at Bloomsburg University, of course, what Danny Hale did at Bloomsburg University, what you guys have done with the program to come in and play or start as a freshman. And I'm sure many coaches could say that alone in the PSAC. It's awfully challenging.
It is. I think typically it's certain positions I think you have a better chance of doing that. It's at the skill positions, maybe the learning curve is not as steep, and your ability can help kind of make you give you the chance to get on the field. So in the past, it has been the wide out, the kick returner, the tailback that has played for us, or the defensive back. But and I think that could be the case this year when we have a great group of skill players coming in, and they could help us. But we prefer to redshirt them because I think that gives them a chance to settle in academically and even physically develop. And if they can do that, they still got a good 4 years ahead of them. So. But I think this group does have a couple guys that could help us if we need them.
Well, it's always great to catch up and talk some football with you. Paul, Darragh, I want to thank you for your time and enjoy your summer. I know you guys will be working.
You got it, John. Thanks for having me.
Bloomsburg University football here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.